Since Halftime TV viewers and subscribers, welcome to another episode, and today we're going to talk about the Reggae Boyz squad announcement. Now, I know I'm wearing a Chelsea jersey, but we're going to talk about Jamaican football for a minute, right? Big up to the Chelsea fans on this video, regardless, and the Liverpool fans as well, who are looking exceptional so far this season. Arsenal, go on doing a thing. Okay, so let's get to it. The Jamaican squad was announced a little bit earlier today, and Coach Steve McLaren, he gave some very interesting explanations as to his decisions and basically justifying some of the inclusions that were there and providing rationale as to why some names were not included. Okay, what I'll be doing in this video first is I'll be outlining the names that are included in this squad, and then I'll get down to it. I'll get down to the analysis. I'll get down to my takeaways. I'll get down to what my thoughts are on this particular squad, as well as to my thoughts on those who aren't a part of the squad right now. Starting in goal, we have, starting with the goalkeepers, we have Shaquan Davis, Jamali Waite, and Tafari Chambers. Defenders, Dexter Lembikisa, Kyle Duncan, Damian Lowe, Richard King. Ethan Pinnock is back amongst the fray. We have Mason Holgate, Amari Bell, and Greg Lay. Midfielders, Isaac Hayden is back, Ian Frey, John Russell, Casey Palmer, Karai Anderson, Joshawn Anglin, and Kevon Lambert. For forwards, Kaheem Dixon, Demari Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, Bailey Cadamatri, Mikel Antonio, and Shamar Nicholson. So, straight off the bat, two notable names that are missing from this list. Andre Blake, the national team captain. A couple of weeks ago, he picked up an injury with his club team, Philadelphia Union. They indicated that, a couple of days ago, they indicated that he will be out for a minimum of 3 weeks with a hamstring injury. So that answers the Andre Blake omission. As far as Leon Bailey is concerned, for those who have been following the news and have been in tuned with the transfer window, he recently got a move to Roma in Serie A, and during his first training session, according to the Roma press, he picked up an injury. So we don't know when Leon Bailey will be back as yet, but he picked up an injury in his first training session as per the reports coming out of Roma press. Okay, so those two big names out of the conversation. Now for the names that are here, let me continue with the names that are missing before we even get to the names that are here. So, first, in midfield, we don't have Ravel Morrison. And I know the folks on the ground, they will be talking about this a whole lot. Whenever there's a squad that's announced and Ravel Morrison is not a part of it, it tends to make the headlines. Folks talk about it, they talk about it, they talk about it, because I think that the Jamaican fans, they believe that there's a lack of creativity, and I tend to agree with them. There's a lack of creativity in midfield, and they believe Ravel Morrison is the answer. Do I think Ravel is the answer? No, but again, that's how folks feel about it. I can't change the opinion of everyone on the planet, or at least not all the Jamaican fans. So they hold it. Ravel Morrison should be included in the squad, and again, everyone is free to their opinion. Him being in midfield would have basically shushed a lot of the fans who are mumbling right now. For the forwards, and as far as forwards go, Mason Greenwood is not included in this squad. And when the coach was pressed about it, he indicated that basically, in not so few words, Mason Greenwood was not prepared to commit to Jamaica as yet, or not prepared to commit to anybody as yet. That's basically what he said. Now, if we remember correctly, there were a couple months ago, Mason Greenwood acquired his Jamaican passport, and all the vloggers and all the television stations and the press, both in England and in Jamaica, they were talking about it. They were talking about the next step, saying that Mason Greenwood would be representing Jamaica. And I think this is particularly tricky because the question of Jamaica and Jamaicanness has been brought about over the last couple of hours, and for those who have been tracking the political space, the question of what does it take to become a Jamaican, or what does it take to be a Jamaican, that's basically been floating around social media as well as in other spaces throughout the entirety of today. And I think it's decisions like these, it's choices like these, when Mason Greenwood knows that he can still represent the England national team. He knows that Thomas Tuchel at the helm right now, he's giving opportunity to some players that were previously considered as outcasts. And based on my assessment of the situation right now, he has the Jamaican passport just in case things don't work out with the England national team call up that he's hoping for. Now, Mason Greenwood is doing exceptionally well in League A, and again, based on the form that he's on and based on his contributions and how lethal he's been in front of goal, the England national team would be happy to welcome him back. Were it not for the cloud of doubt and the cloud of public perception that's currently over his head. So Mason Greenwood, as far as talent goes and quality goes, that's never been in the question. It's basically no Thomas Tuchel coming in and him having that Jamaican passport, waiting to see if England will call him up. And if England doesn't call him up, in my assessment, I think that's when he will come and represent Jamaica, because now is the beginning of the journey. Jamaica's World Cup qualifying begins now. The last phase of the qualifying. If you're fit, if you're able to, why not? Why not now? What are you waiting for? Like, the World Cup kicks off in under a year from now. Now is the time for you to be going in the trenches with these players and to be grinding out those difficult results that we expect in CONCACAF. So Mason Greenwood, personally, far as talent goes, I'll say it again, I'm all for it. I think he's an exceptional talent, but it's moves like these that make me question whether or not he's doing it for the cause or he's just coming to play for Jamaica because he wants to go to the World Cup. And is he truly Jamaican for making choices like those? I'll leave it over to you, the viewers and subscribers, to determine. Continuing, we have someone who I don't know how I feel about it either, and who am I speaking about? Bailey Cadamartri. Now, a couple of months ago, a year and something ago, his name was included in a squad as well. And Halftime TV, we arranged an interview with him. We spoke leading up to probably the day before the interview, and he indicated that, yep, he would be coming on, he would be representing Jamaica. And then I realized that an England junior team, under 21, I believe it was at the time, had included Bailey Cadamartri, and he withdrew himself basically from the Jamaican national team, and he went on to represent the England junior team, the England under 21 team. Scored in the game as well, which was good. But for a lot of the Jamaican fans, they had already taken their mind off Bailey Cadamartri, and him coming back now and seeing him in the national team setup again, it begs the question: is it that you truly want to represent Jamaica, or is it a case where you realize that it's even more difficult now for you to get into the England setup, and as such, Jamaica is the bridesmaid? And don't get me wrong, a lot of these players, they have more connection to England than they do to Jamaica, and nothing is wrong with that. And understanding that, okay, they're always going to choose England first, nothing wrong with that either. But I think when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, and when it comes down to qualifying for the World Cup, and whether it goes left or right, or whether it goes right or wrong, it we'll see more effort from those who actually have a real horse in the ring, for lack of a better term. Anyway, continuing, we have Mikel Antonio, who's included in this one as well. Questionable for me. Mikel Antonio, in my opinion, he's now a pundit, so I don't understand why he is a part of the national team squad. And the coach mentioned that from the beginning, Mikel Antonio was one of those players who said he wants to be in the trenches, he wants to get it done, he wants to fight for Jamaica, he wants to get Jamaica to World Cup 2026. And that is fair. I understand the commitment, I understand the heart, I understand the blood, sweat and tears that he's willing to leave on the line for Jamaica. But the last international break, it was this same coach who said Shamar Nicholson, who is included in this squad, Shamar Nicholson wasn't playing enough. and as such, he didn't include Shamar Nicholson in the squad. So, which is it? Which is it? Is it that for some players they have to show that they are committed to the cause, even if they're not playing, while for other players they have to be playing week in, week out and getting good numbers in order for them to be included in the national team setup? I have so many questions because I think this squad, some good players there, the omissions we will notice, but I don't know. I have so many questions about some of those inclusions as well. And for the players who chose not to come up this time around, I would implore you to stay where you are. Don't even consider coming up the next time you receive a call or when it's convenient to you. Because based on my assessment and my analysis of what's happening, if Jamaica, and God forbid, if the first few results don't go Jamaica's way, then we probably won't see some of these players that are being rumored to represent Jamaica. However, if everything is going well, then don't be surprised if you see a lot of the names that have been floating around put themselves forward to come and play for Jamaica. I don't know how I feel about players not making themselves available when it's time to put in the hard work, yet when it's time to receive the glory, them coming to the front of the line. I don't know. But again, halftime TV viewers and subscribers, I'm gonna turn it over to you. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on the squad that I just announced, the Mason Greenwood situation, the Mikel Antonio situation. Mind you, as I said, West Ham at the end of June, they indicated that Mikel Antonio was a free agent, hasn't found a club as yet. He didn't play a game in club football since the beginning of the year. Ended up playing for Jamaica at the Gold Cup, and that was his only football really that I've seen. So if Mikel Antonio is playing competitive football outside of that, I want someone to let me know in the comment section, because the only time I've seen Mikel Antonio near a football pitch since the last time he came and represented Jamaica was his punditry work where he was pitch side. So, again, those are my thoughts. Let's hear what you, the viewers and subscribers, have to say. What are your thoughts on the squad? Mikel Antonio's inclusion. Thoughts on that? I'm sure Shamar Nicholson is happy to be back with the squad. Obviously, we have some injuries that we'll be hoping they get better soon. But I think this squad should be able to beat the Bermuda team. But overall, I don't know how I feel about this squad. I don't know how I feel. It doesn't strike me as a world beating squad, or it doesn't give me that level of confidence knowing that, hey, anything that comes up in front of Jamaica, Jamaica is going to beat them. Not this squad. But those are just my opinions. Let's hear your thoughts. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. For the Halftime TV folks on here who've been here from day one, thank you so very much for your support as we continue our trek to 30,000 subscribers. Only 2,000 and something to go. All right, let's keep going. Until next time, peace out.